What are we working on?
Um, I was working on a story that I was doing from ChatGPT, so I'm working on something. But I'm also working. I don't think we can use the auto DJ yet because we have to get a server. We need a computer
Oh,
server to do the auto DJ. I did convert um, the show that you did on Sunday, the 3 hour show. I edited it with Audacity, and I was able to convert it with Audacity to MP3, and then I was able to. I had to import it, export it, import it, export it, and then put it back to MP3.
jeez.
And then I took the MP3 and I uploaded it to to the auto DJ playlist. So that's on there. So it's there whenever we get the auto DJ up and running, it'll play. But it's 3 hours of audio. It was the one it was the one with the pastor. So the one that you just did this past Sunday. So
Hmm.
that was Pastor Melanie. I just
Yeah.
had to edit. I kind of had to edit out the beginning because you kind of cursed in the beginning, so I had to edit that out with like Audacity. I was like, yeah, I don't think you wanted to hear that on a loop.
You don't?
Yeah.
What?
I mean, I have the original raw, MP4, thing. I could keep it in there, but
Just saying. It's natural.
the original.
It's in the natural course of broadcast excellence. What can I say? And if you believe
Yeah,
that one,
yeah, I'm sure.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm sure. Like uh, I'm sure the Tom Hartman show has like a lot of expletives in the beginning.
Not exactly. No, not exactly. Not exactly. Well, I got to be honest. I mean, you know, I'm not even sure poop is a curse word anymore. That seems to be flying. I mean, that one's pretty. That one flies pretty easy. You know.
Yeah, but you don't say poop on your show. You
At
say
least
the
I'm
other.
starting
You
to
say
say
the
shit. I'm
other.
starting to say shit a lot. Like a lot. But I'm not even sure. I don't know. I hear that on network television now. So
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not even sure that's a. I don't know what to make of it. I don't even know what I'm saying. The schedule's tough though, dude. I'm really tired. I'm getting really tired. I'm just basically going straight now from 5 in the morning till almost 10 at night.
Wow.
But tired. Oh crap! Actually, did want to do something. Like 5 minutes. The video is actually up and on. Just didn't hit play yet. Where is it? There we go. Boy. Is anybody still on? Because I was on YouTube earlier, and it looked up. It was showing me, even though it's not right. I think I'm.
The Rules of Nerdquisition went for a little bit because my friend Steve Warnick was on.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say it was telling me they were online, but I don't see this. See, I can't edit this schedule, which is annoying.
They weren't on the radio. They were.
Why not?
It didn't go to no. What they do is they I think they do their podcasts to YouTube, to Twitch, but they don't simulcast on the radio. I think they're going to put it on the loop once we get the server up and running.
Well, that's strange.
Yeah.
Given the amount of open air time.
Right.
It seemed to me, why not just go on the radio?
Right.
But I don't know. Maybe that's something to ask on Saturday. And close. Why do I try to get myself into these things?
Because you're a glutton for punishment, just like me.
I am. I am. I shouldn't even come up here this early, because then I just think of things to do, and I just make a hash of it, and I just shouldn't do these things. I don't know if I think I'm clever. Like I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. I do think, though, anyway, that I've got to think of something. We had like some really good reaction from Twitch there for a while, and it seems to have died off. So maybe I don't swear enough. I could do the show shirtless, but I think even the camera would turn away. Oh, hey, it's 8 o'clock. What do you say? Oh, maybe you should push play over here first, you wank. Let's do that then, shall we?
Kennedy. Do you want a man for president who's seasoned through and through, but not so doggone seasoned that he won't try something new? A man who's old enough to know
and young enough to do.
Well, it's up to you, it's up to you. It's strictly up to you. But it's Kennedy, 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 Kennedy. Do you want a man with spirit who is not afraid to fight?
A man whose record shows that he will fight for what is right.
A loyal man who brings a job a fresh new point of view. Well, it's up to you, it's up to you. It's strictly up to you. Cause it's Kennedy, 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 Kennedy. And do you deny to any man the right he's guaranteed to be elected president, no matter what his creed?
It's promised promised in the Bill of Rights to which we must be true.
So it's up to you, it's up to you. It's strictly up to you. And it's Kennedy, 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 Kennedy for me.
Kennedy, 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 Kennedy.
Do you like a man who answers straight, a man who's always fair? We'll measure him against the others, and when you compare, you'll cast your vote for Kennedy, and the change that's overdue. So it's up to you, it's up to you, it's strictly up to you. Kennedy, 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 Kennedy for me. Kennedy, 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 Kennedy,
Welcome from my humble second bedroom here in the Saucon Valley, part of the Lehigh Valley in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, part of these United States, North American continent, Western Hemisphere, on this planet Earth, the only one we have. Third rock from the sun in the Terran solar system, part of the Milky Way galaxy. This is TKE Tonight for the 7th of August 2024. Welcome to everyone. Thank you all for being here on TKE Tonight for Wednesday, August 4th. We are live right now on GCPR.live. The world's I would say the world's newest internet radio station, but then again, there's nearly 8 billion people on the planet. Who knows how many could have been created since GCPR took the air? But we are in our 5th week. I want to say welcome to all of you wherever you might be listening, and through whatever portals, so to speak, that you might be listening. We are live right now on the global internet radio station that I am proud to be the partner of, and that is GCPR, Ghost Claw Productions Radio .live, the .live, GCPR.live. Link is in the chat, as it always is. You can hear the audio/radio version of the program through 2 ways. On the actual website called VOSCAST, VOSCAST. Go to the search bar, type in GCPR, Ghost Claw Productions Radio. You can find us there. I think you can type in either one, by the way, and you'll find us. George will correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you can type in either one, GCPR or Ghost Claw Productions Radio, and find us there. You can also use an app called Shoutcast. It is related to VOSCAST. It is an app on your phone that you can download for free. Go up to the search bar, type in GCPR.live, Ghost Claw Productions Radio.live, and you can find us and listen to us around there. A special hello to our listeners in Romania, Spain, Italy, and the UK. And honestly, anywhere else that you might be listening to us around the globe. Always a fun thing if you want to take part in it. This would be for you taking part with the video simulcast of the program. We are live now on my personal Facebook page, Jeff Kennedy. We are live on my Twitch account page, which is Jeff R. Kennedy. We are live on my LinkedIn, which is Jeff Kennedy as well. And we, of course, as always, are on our YouTube channel, That Other Side of Information. Our YouTube channel is called That Other Side of Information. I am banned from sharing on Facebook for another 4 days, I think. And again, I think we're strongly considering tomorrow. Donna, one of our lovely loyal listeners and president of the George Dare fan club, has provided me with a couple of phone numbers on, did she do that? I think Monday she did that, for customer service for Facebook. So we're actually strongly considering. It's a bit like morning radio stuntish, so I'm not 100% sure that I'm going to do it. I'm really thinking about it, of calling them live on the air to see if they can explain to me why I'm consistently getting blocked and see just how much money I can offer them before it stops. Because at the end of the day, I think that's pretty much what it comes down to. So the video simulcast of the program, my Facebook page, the week is moving on and my mouth has stopped. It's not working properly. My personal Facebook page, Jeff Kennedy. That Other Side of Information on YouTube, Jeff R. Kennedy on Twitch, and Jeff Kennedy on LinkedIn. So thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of the program. We appreciate you. As always, we are here weeknights, Monday through Thursday, 8 to 9 p.m. And our Sunday program, I'm not sure about our Sunday program this particular week, but our Sunday program, an extended conversation, happens on Sundays from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Sunday evenings. And as always, we hope that you will join us all the time, that you will share, like, subscribe, share. You know how it goes on social media. No one follows us immediately tonight on GCPR.live, but don't forget 11 p.m. Super, super important. 11 p.m. is Conversations with T. Nathan, and we very much hope and invite you to be a part of it and to watch it and to listen to it and all of that fun stuff. We hope that you will do exactly that. GCPR.live from 11 p.m. Conversations with T. Nathan. So let me get into what I kind of think is the top story of the day. Of course, I closed the app, so now I lost it. And that is really kind of the good feelings that seem to be surrounding the new complete Democratic ticket for the executive branch for the presidency and the vice presidency. Today, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz were in Wisconsin. And we go right to the Associated Press, my favorite go-to, largely because it's free. I'm just being honest with you. But it's not the only reason. I happen to think it's an excellent news source. I truly do. And that's why I try to give them every bit of credit when I am reading from them, make sure that we very much highlight who the authors are, where the information is coming from. So this is from, and if you haven't downloaded, they're not paying me anything, by the way. I'm just saying this because I think it's true. If you haven't downloaded the Associated Press app yet, and I would have to assume, I happen to have an Apple iPhone, but I would have to assume that it's in the Google Play Store for Android as well. Download the AP app. First off, it's free. You don't need to create a login or give them any money. Or at least not yet. I imagine that could change in the future, but what can I say? They have excellent stories. They're pretty quick, easy to read. They do great reporting, and I think you should check them out. And it's an easy way to stay up to date. If you're at work, you got a free couple minutes, and instead of glancing through Facebook and see, a new recipe for this or that or the other, check out the AP app, read a couple stories, and stay up to date. And of course, they have tabs for, top stories, news, politics, international, environment, science and tech, entertainment. They really do a great job. So let's jump into what I think is the big story of the day. You tell me what you think the big story of the day is in the chat. If you chat on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube, we will see it. I'm not exactly sure why the comments from LinkedIn don't come in, if there are any. I haven't seen them. I haven't seen any so far. A good number of people watch us every single night and Sundays on LinkedIn, but I don't see a lot of commenting. But that said, I don't see the comments on LinkedIn. Actually, Streamlabs tells me that those comments don't come in. But then again, it tells me that the Facebook comments don't come in. And they're here all the time as well. So I'm not sure. But regardless, if you would like to take a more direct role in the program and be more direct with George and I and with GCPR, please put your comments in Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. I will see them. Tell me what you think the top story of the day is. Tell me what you think we should be commenting on. Ask questions, agree, disagree, yell, scream, whatever you want to do. We're not here to lecture you. We'd like to have a conversation with you. Steve mentions in the comments that I am live now on LinkedIn. What are things coming to? It's an excellent question. It's a great question. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that somewhere in the book of Revelation that when I and my program hit LinkedIn, that it was one of the seven signs of the apocalypse. Not 100% on that. I'm not a biblical scholar. I'm pretty certain it's mentioned in there. If anybody finds it, let me know. But I'm with you. Wow, look at, if LinkedIn will let me on, they'll let anybody on. I agree, Steve, 100%. But thank you for being here, and I really appreciate it. I deeply appreciate it. Whether you're here because you enjoy the program, agree with me, disagree with me, I don't care. You're here, you're giving us a chance. That's all I can ask for. So thanks for being here. Donna says that she's sitting here almost blind. It's hard to type. I don't know what that means, Donna. For having eye issues or just not feeling well. George can show his face, I guess, because she means that she won't be able to see him. Well, George is actually he's working in the background. Never mistake the fact that even though George does not say a heck of a lot on this program, I am always a better host when he's here. He is not just a part of the program, or I think we've technically given him the title of executive producer and executive technical producer. He's among his very lowest, very smallest fonts list of accomplishments in his life. Being my friend is certainly a tiny one, but I'm honored and I'm very glad when he's here. It's a better program when he's here. I just feel better about what we do when he's here. So let's get to the top story. Again, the Associated Press, Dateline, Eau Claire, Wisconsin. The article is written by Darlene Superville. Great name. It really is, Superville. Superville. What a great name. Tell me she didn't play superheroes when she was a kid. Darlene Superville, Joey Capoletti, and Meg Kennard are the co-authors of the article from today. Headline: Harris and Walz say they're, quote, joyful warriors, unquote, narrowly miss tarmac confrontation with Vance. Now, I didn't get to read all of this yet, so I don't know if that's a little bit of hype, but I do know that they were in the same place today, which is interesting. But let's read. Again, Associated Press, Darlene Superville, Joey Capoletti, and Meg Kennard are the authors. Vice President Kamala Harris declared herself and her new running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, quote, joyful warriors, unquote, against Donald Trump on Wednesday, earlier today, as they spent their first full day campaigning together across the Midwest. They got an unusual glimpse of how hotly contested the region will be when they overlapped on a Wisconsin tarmac with Republican vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance. And to be fair, Senator J.D. Vance. The Democrats visited Wisconsin and Michigan, hoping to shore up support among the younger, diverse, labor-friendly voters who were instrumental in helping President Joe Biden win the 2020 election. Harris told the day's first rally in Eau Claire, quote, as Tim Walz likes to point out, we are joyful warriors, unquote. Contributing to that feeling, the Harris campaign said it had raised $36 million in the first 24 hours after she announced Walz as her running mate. Vice President said the pair look on the future with optimism, unlike ex-President Donald Trump, whom she accused of being stuck in the past and preferring a confrontational style of politics, even as she criticized her opponent herself. Quote, someone who suggests we should terminate the Constitution of the United States should never again have the chance to sit behind the seal of the United States, unquote. Harris said, her voice rising amid applause from a crowd her campaign said numbered more than 12,000. So the writers of the article kind of seem to be portraying the vice president as being in a bit of doublespeak here. That they, Harris and Walz, looking to the future while at the same time criticizing Trump. Campaigns are about contrast. Now, we would hope as a public, or at least we should hope, as a nation, as a society, as a democracy, a small d democracy, as a community of Americans, that contrast would be part of a campaign. That's what campaigns are. You must draw a contrast with your opponent. The only way, certainly part of the way that VP Harris draws that contradiction or draws that comparison is to talk about what the ex-president has done or not done. And one of the things that he has done is to say that the Constitution should be terminated. His former chief of staff, General Kelly, 5-star general, 4-star general? I would have to check that. 4 or 5 stars, I'm not sure. Himself, who served as Trump's chief of staff, said the man should not even be allowed in the White House on a tour. He should not be allowed anywhere near the White House again. And that terminating the Constitution is, at its very base, anti-American. It's anti-democracy. Vice President Harris, Governor Walz must draw a distinction between their candidacy and their campaign to that of the ex-president and Senator Vance. Now, inherent in that is to look backward a bit. But when you also spend, half of your stump speech talking about here's the policies that are important to me, here are the policy solutions that are important to me, here's how we move forward, all of us together. Trump doesn't talk about any of that. He doesn't talk about us as a nation moving together. How 40% of the population can stand to listen to a man talk about how shit this country is and think it's somehow patriotic is just all part of the mystery of this cult that I may not ever genuinely understand. I've never been a part of a cult. So maybe I just don't get it. But how a guy can stand in these rambling streams of semi-consciousness for 30, 45, 60, 90 plus minutes and do nothing about talk about how terrible this country is. And he doesn't just say, I think we're on the wrong track with this set of policies. Talks about what a stupid country we are, how we get taken advantage of, how terrible things are, how we're at war with each other. I do think it's part of that Republican projection. We're not the racists, you are! We're not conducting class warfare by shifting nearly $60 trillion in wealth to the top 1% since Reagan. You are! Because you want to give money back to poor people. You're the ones on class warfare. This stuff it's like schoolyard stuff. Your mom's ugly. I know you are, but what am I? I think Joyful Warriors is actually kind of catchy and kind of smart on a couple different levels. Warriors, yes, we're willing to fight in this campaign. You are not just going to attack us and not get it back. Joyful meaning we're happy to be out here meeting you, the American people, working to earn your vote. I've seen a couple of articles this week, which I have to admit that I don't agree with. Does Trump really want to win? I think he does. I don't think he wanted to win in 2016, and I sure as hell don't think they expected to win. I've told you the story before that Nicole Wallace, the MSNBC host of Deadline White House, will tell you, has told on the air repeatedly. It's her story, not mine. I'm repeating it and paraphrasing it, and probably badly. That she received a call from a Trump campaign official on election night 2016. And he said to her, and she was on the air. She stepped off set to take the call. And he said to her, "We don't have a acceptance speech written. You think we should write one?" I don't think Trump ever thought or even wanted to win in 2016. But he tasted the power. I still don't think he completely understands how to use it effectively, but he knows a hell of a lot more than he did in 2016. He knows that being in the White House keeps him out of jail, and it will make him a boatload of cash, just like it did from 16 to 20. He can end all the investigations against him. He can retaliate against whomever he wishes. The Supreme Court gave him that power. He can keep his ass out of jail, and he can make a ton of money. Do I think he wants to win? I do think he wants to win. In 16, I don't know if he did. But I think he does now, because he knows what he can get back. He had a taste of it. And I don't think it's any different. It's not too terribly different than when any of us get a taste of something that we love. Maybe you just absolutely love fishing. And you can remember the first time you went fishing and you just fell in love with it. And you couldn't wait till you could go again. And the only time that you're really happy is when you're fishing. And you get better at it the more you do it. It might be golf. It might be cruising or bicycling or radio and television. You get the bug. You get the itch. Trump's had a taste of the White House and the power that comes with it. The Supreme Court has granted the executive branch even more power. In fact, arguably, blanket powers. He made money as president. About $1 billion. I've heard estimates as high as 1.6. And now he knows more about the office and how it works. The sycophants that surround him are more sick. So what's wrong with a pair with the Democratic ticket drawing contrast, as every campaign should, yet still taking a part of it, reserving a part of their message to say, we're happy to be here. We're going to earn your vote. We're going to smile. Yeah, we're different. I'm going to tell you who he is. We're going to tell you who we are. But we're going to do it with a smile on our face. We're going to look back to try to convince you why we don't want to go back, at the same time telling you what we want to do going forward. That's a classic campaign. That's a strong campaign when you can do both. Trump can't tell you what he wants to do going forward. at least from a policy standpoint. He's told you that he's going to take his retribution and retaliation on his supposed political enemies. Project 2025 tells you what the policy, if you want to call it a policy, is. Trump doesn't tell you what it is. Let me return to the article. Wednesday's campaign swing was especially important for her and Walz, since Biden's winning coalition from 4 years ago has showed signs of fraying over the summer, particularly in Michigan, which has emerged as a focal point of Democratic divisions over Biden's handling of the Israel-Hamas conflict. It's a flat-out war. Conflict is kind of tones it down. With Biden now out of the race, leaders of the Arab American community and key unions say they are encouraged by the running mate choice. Walz is, that's awkward to say, isn't it? Walz is, the last letter is Z, so you have to do an apostrophe S. Walz, addition to the ticket, has soothed some tension, signaling to some leaders that Harris had heard concerns about another leading contender for the vice presidential slot, Governor Josh Shapiro of Pennsylvania, who they felt had gone too far in his support for Israel. So, the dueling schedules overlapped enough that while Harris was still greeting a group of Girl Scouts who came to see her arrive at Chippewa Valley Regional Airport in Wisconsin, Vance's campaign plane landed nearby and was taxiing in the distance. Harris posed for a group picture with the girls around the same time Vance was deplaning. Deplaning? Well, they're the writers. I suppose they would know. It could just say exiting the plane. Okay. Triple word score, I think, for deplaning. And he began walking over to Air Force Two, trailed by his security detail. The vice president eventually climbed into her motorcade and pulled away before they could interact. Still that the pair came so close to doing so on a tarmac was unusual, given the carefully scripted nature of campaign schedules. So, but why not be optimistic? Certainly, the announcement yesterday has again spiked, fueled, driven an excitement about the Democratic ticket that simply was not there 3 weeks ago. Look, campaigns for any office in which people are energized and engaged are good for the country. Now, I don't support the ex-president in any way, shape, or form. I do happen to think he's generally correct about tariffs, which I know scares even Democrats. His implementation of them was just childish, but and borderline against the law. Certainly the spirit of the legislation, but his idea that tariffs are a good thing for domestic industry, he's correct. Outside of that, there's just nothing that I agree with him on. But one thing you can be sure of is that his base is energized. They are engaged. Arguably to a dangerous and deadly extent. But they are engaged. And this new Democratic ticket has done the same for our side of the aisle. And two large voter bases that are engaged is a good thing for democracy. I don't agree with anything that the right has to put forward. In fact, I think it is their goal, Project 2025 tells you this, to end democracy in this country. 1930s Germany, late 1920s and 1930s Italy, fascist Franco's Spain for nearly 50 years. That's what we're looking at with Project 2025, an oligarchy, a fascist society, the end of small d democracy. I don't agree with anything that Trump stands for or has to say. But having two large, engaged, energetic, and informed voter bases are good things for democracy. They just are. I think the choice is perfectly clear. I think it's obvious. I think one choice is the end of democracy and the other one sure as hell is not. So I'll stick with democracy. Thank you very much. But when people are energized and are going to go vote, that's a good thing for democracy. I don't like the way it's happening. I wish it was a regular human being on the Republican side of things running, or a human being. But the country is engaged. That's a somewhat decent thing. So, I don't know. As Donna mentions, and I will agree with her, democracy, yes, I'll vote for democracy every single time. Also, one thing I wanted to, I put it in the header for the video. Let me actually do a quick reset. 8:33 Eastern Daylight Time, TKE tonight, the Kennedy Effect tonight, live with you for the 7th of August, 2024. We'll be with you tomorrow night from 8. I am unsure yet as what's happening on Sunday. It's the last day of Music Fest. Kristen and I really have not enjoyed the summer much so far at all. We might take a night. We might have some family things that day too. Not sure if I will be here with you on Sunday. But remember, TKE tonight, live on GCPR, Ghost Call Productions Radio.live is the website. Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. We will be with you here tomorrow night to end our broadcast week. And we hope that you will be here as well. We encourage you, we humbly ask and beseech upon you to like, subscribe, follow, and share anything regarding us, the Kennedy Effect, me, Jeff Kennedy, George, and of course, GCPR.live. Like, subscribe, share, and follow. We need your help. Just asking, not for money, not for too much. Actually, I'm going to put this in. Why is something's going wrong with this keyboard here? Oh, for goodness sake, stop, you thing. Every now and then I bump a function key on here. I have no clue what it does, and everything goes bonkers. I should have put this in here earlier. So we'll be here tomorrow night, and we hope you will be as well. Again, not 100% sure about Sunday quite yet. Let me get to what I think is the second big story. Oh, so we're live right now on my, I stopped myself in the middle of my thing. We are live right now on my personal Facebook page, Jeff Kennedy, my Twitch, Jeff R. Kennedy, my LinkedIn, Jeff Kennedy, and of course the audio of the program is live on gcpr.live is the website. You can also go to voscast.com and find us, search for GCPR, and the Shoutcast app, search for GCPR. A special hello to our listeners outside of the United States, a good number in several European countries, Romania, Italy, Great Britain, and Spain, especially. Doesn't mean the rest of you don't count. If you're in Polynesia or Australia or Japan, South Korea, wherever you might, or across the African continent, wherever you might be, you matter to us. Every single listener that's in, or viewer that's in and taking advantage of and learning and following and listening to GCPR, we're thrilled that you're here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Every single program, I want this to be a very standard thing. I hope that I will remember to say it every single time. Please drop a hello in the chat and tell us where you are. I don't need social security number, none of that stuff. I'm not talking about that. Just like a, hey, it's Joe from Ohio, or I don't know, Juan from Puerto Rico, or you know what I mean. Drop a name and let us know where you are. It'd be great to see. I would just be curious. And we thank you, of course, for sharing any of that you wish to share. So gcpr.live, ghostclawproductionsradio.live. The second big story of the evening that I want to get to before we... And phone line, call whenever you wish. 267... Did I turn the... Crap. Did I turn the thing on? Oh, I am receiving calls. Okay. 267-227-9189 is right over my shoulder. 267-227-9189. Second story I wanted to get to is, again, the Associated Press. You can pretty much default that it's Associated Press. Byline is from... actually, there is no byline. It was not written out on the road. Thomas Beaumont is the author of this article. Again, it's the Associated Press from today, written by Thomas Beaumont. Headline, Vance and other Trump allies amplify a false claim about Harris' racial identity. Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, Donald Trump's running mate, defended on Wednesday a false claim the former president made about Vice President Kamala Harris' racial identity, suggesting wrongly that Harris has downplayed her black heritage in trying to suggest she's inauthentic. Quote, what I took it as was an attack on Kamala Harris being a chameleon, he told reporters when asked in Michigan about the former president's suggestion that Harris, the daughter of Jamaican and Indian immigrants, had only recently identified as black. I think I told you the story on our Sunday program, and I wish I knew who the Twitter user was, because I'd credit them. I really, really wish that I knew. And it was making fun of Trump, but in a really super intelligent way, where this Twitter user said, I'm not sure that Donald Trump is really orange. He's only recently identified as orange. And perhaps he began to start identifying as orange to ingratiate himself with the orange vote. It's funny and it's clever. And it really does go to show how inane and shallow and stupid this attack on Vice President Harris is. Trump's got nothing to say. The man never, ever talks about policy because he doesn't have any. And by the way, he doesn't need any. His cult following doesn't care to really hear about it. And he doesn't have to put any policies forward. Project 2025's already written it for him. Just pretty much the way Trump does everything. Get somebody else to do it. There was an article, I'm just remembering. I will have to find it. I hope you can hang in there with me for just a sec. I want to see if I can find it. I think I posted it in our Facebook group earlier this morning. Oh, darn it all. It was about... Maybe I didn't. Maybe I forgot. Maybe I was going to and I didn't. Yes, here it is. Here it is. I've talked to you on the program before about, we talked last night about one of Trump's lawyers, Jenna Ellis, who was running around the country with Rudy Giuliani, lying about the results of the 2020 election and actually helping to implement this highly illegal, unconstitutional coup attempt by the being led by the ex-president, and that she took a plea deal in Arizona to have the charges dropped against her. In return, she will be testifying against all of the people in this coup plot to send a slate of fake electors to Washington to overrule the will of the voters of the state of Arizona and hand in and have Congress recognize a literally fake election result from Arizona, thus giving the electoral votes to Trump. Well, today, this happened. Dateline Phoenix, again, the Associated Press. I know I'm getting a little redundant, but again, the Associated Press. This is written by Jacques Bilot. You've heard me mention him before. I think I'm saying it correctly. Obviously, a highly French name. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. My apologies to the author. A Republican activist who signed a document falsely claiming Donald Trump had won Arizona in 2020 became the first person to be convicted in the state's fake elector case. I told you when Jenna Ellis flipped that I was wondering how many people in the Trump circle had to go to jail before someone in that circle would look themselves in the mirror, or their family members would convince them this man is not worth going to jail for. Well, Jenna Ellis finally realized that he's not worth going to jail for. And so she took a deal. And part of that deal, first off, it got her completely off. It was a pretty sweetheart deal, if you ask me. She still should have faced lesser charges and charges and the possibility of some jail time, in my opinion. But I'm not a lawyer. But she did agree that if all the charges were dropped, she would testify against everybody else and outline exactly what this plot was about. So more jail time is coming for a lot of other people. But I have asked on this program before, when do folks that surround Trump finally realize they all seem to go to jail while he walks away? I return to the article. Speaking of people going to jail and not coming to that realization, second paragraph of the article. Lorraine Pellegrino, a past president of the group Awataki Republican Women, has pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor charge of filing a false document. Arizona Attorney General's office spokesperson Richie Taylor said Tuesday, declining to comment further. Records documenting her guilty plea haven't yet been posted by the court. Still, court records show Pellegrino was sentenced to unsupervised probation. Before the plea, she faced 9 felony charges. 17 other people had been charged in the case, including 10 other Republicans who had a signed certificate saying they were, quote, duly elected and qualified, unquote, electors, and claimed Trump had carried Arizona in the 2020 election. President Joe Biden won Arizona by 10,457 votes. Joshua Colsrud, an attorney representing Pellegrino, said in the statement that his client has accepted responsibility for her actions. Quote, Lorraine Pellegrino's decision to accept a plea to a lesser charge reflects her desire to move forward and put this matter behind her. Yeah, no shit, huh? Kept your ass out of jail, too. You still have to admit something when you admit something. So, I've been wondering, when do these folks wake up? When do they wake up? And got to tell you, it's about time. It's about damn time that some of them have begun to wake up. Now, my guess would be, and it's only a guess. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not. But my guess would be that Miss Pellegrino took probation because she refused to flip. Or she flipped in some limited capacity. I can only assume and hope that the reason Jenna Ellis got all the charges dropped is that she is cooperating in a much deeper way. That she's really just going to be available at a moment's notice, a phone call away, to answer questions and continue to answer questions. Now, we've seen plea deals like this before. We've also seen plea deals like this before reneged by the prosecution because the defendant doesn't live up to their side of the deal. Trump's campaign manager in 2016, Paul Manafort, who also went to jail for Trump, had struck a plea deal with prosecutors in the Russia election interference case that he could have his charges reduced if he simply testified. So he took the deal. And then he went in and refused to say anything. Or gave us the good old line, I don't recall. And so prosecutors reneged on his deal, and he went to jail. So I'm only guessing. Let me be very plain. I am only guessing. And my guess is that Miss Pellegrino didn't agree to flip on everybody else, or at least did not agree to provide the same amount or level of information that Jenna Ellis did. Because Jenna Ellis walked away. She now has no pending charges. But she's also going to tell the whole of the story and name names. And it's about damn time. How many times must this man get away with crimes, felonies, unconstitutional acts? How many damn times? If you're a 17-year-old black kid and you have a marijuana seed in your pocket, you have an infinitely better chance of going to prison for that and having your life ruined than this man who's recently identified as orange seemingly will ever have of facing the music. Now, I know he was convicted on 34 state felonies in New York, but he still hasn't been sentenced. There's no date for him to be sentenced. I suspect I would be absolutely gobsmacked if he ever spends in jail, even if he ever spends a day, even with an ankle bracelet on. So, just my 2 cents. But what do I know? I'm not a lawyer. Let me get back to the AP and let me do something a little different. Let's do something a little different. Let's move, in the final few minutes that we have with you, let's move on to a different topic from a completely different point of view. This again is the AP by Dateline Washington. Fossils suggest even smaller, quote-unquote, hobbits roamed an Indonesian island 700,000 years ago. Many, many mainstream archaeologists will tell you that humanity is only 200,000 years old. Here's bones from a humanoid, albeit much smaller in stature, from 700,000 years ago. It rewrites history. Just a little something different, a little break from politics. The article is written by Adithi Ramakrishnan, and I probably butchered your name as well, sir. Ma'am, I honestly don't know. My apologies if I did. Certainly don't mean anything by it. I probably just didn't pronounce it well. You have my sincere apologies. 20 years ago, on an Indonesian island, scientists discovered fossils of an early human species that stood about 3.5 feet tall, earning them the nickname hobbits. Now, a new study suggests ancestors of the hobbits were even slightly shorter. Quote, "We did not expect that we would find smaller individuals from such an old site," study co-author Yuseki Kofu of the University of Tokyo said in an email. The original hobbit fossils, named by the discoverers after the characters in The Lord of the Rings, date back between 60,000 and 100,000 years ago. The new fossils were excavated at a site called Mata Menge, or Mengi, M-E-N-G-E, about 45 miles from the cave where the first hobbit remains were uncovered. In 2016, researchers suspected the earlier relatives could be shorter than the hobbits after studying a jawbone and teeth collected from the new site. Further analysis of a tiny arm bone fragment and teeth suggests the ancestors were a mere 2.4 inches shorter and existed 700,000 years ago. It rewrites history. It rewrites history. Mainstream archaeologists will tell you that the first settlements and sort of like towns and cities only go back, maybe 20,000, 30,000 years ago. And that humanity as we know it is only about 200,000 years old. Well, now here we have some short-statured but human species, I guess you'd say. I was going to say tribe, but I don't think that's the right word. That go back 700,000 years. One of these Sundays, I don't know when I'm going to do it, and boy, I would be so honored to get one of the big names in the field. Something that George and I will have to work on. George, of course, is sitting there with the camera off going, what? What the hell am I doing now? What did I just get volunteered for? I really would like to have somebody from Ancient Aliens on the program. Just take a complete divergence from politics. And we've done it before, talking about religion. We've done it talking about, I've tried to do it to talk about mental health. I can't get a mental health expert on the program. If anybody knows any, I'd be thrilled to. We took a week and talked about soccer and professional sports. Every now and then you just have to take a break and do something different. I would love to have an ancient astronaut theorist on the program to talk about exactly these kinds of things. That humans are infinitely older than mainstream archaeology tells us. That even Darwin's missing link, how did we make it from the most advanced apes to human? There's missing DNA in there. How did we go from 2.5 feet tall? 3.5, I think it was. It said in the earlier paragraph. 3.5. How do we go from 3.5 feet tall to having humans that are 7 feet tall, although they are rare? How do you explain the bones that have been found in the American West and in Greece of humanoids that were regularly 10 feet tall? It's just, I would love to, just one of these times, just to do something different, just to get away from it for a little bit. Organizers in Vienna, Austria had to cancel 3 Taylor Swift concerts because they found out a plot to bomb the concerts, or at least perpetuate some type of violence. Am I shocked by that? No. Sadly, I'm just shocked that it would happen in Vienna, which is a very peaceful, forward-thinking, accepting city. To find that strange. I also posted an article in the Facebook group that I gotta get back to it. I'm sorry, I lost it. There has been right-wing generated violence across the UK. We are not the only country that struggles with race and immigrant relations. One of the nice things that's really come out of the Paris Olympics is the fact that it seems like it has brought the French populace together. There are deep religious, immigrant, and racial divides in France. But as you see French citizens of African descent, I mean, it's rather obvious, I'm just telling you, and to see all of France supporting them, these Olympics might turn out to be a very, very good thing for France, sociologically. And I hope so. This happens to come from the CBC, Canadian Broadcasting Company. We only have a minute or so left. I will read it very quickly. Far-right groups target 30 locations as UK braces for another night of violence. UK 5 hours ahead of us. It is almost 9 p.m., so that would be 2 a.m. I look forward in the morning. Hopefully it will have been a peaceful night. I'm not sure. Quote, "We will not let the immigration asylum system be intimidated," police officials said. British police prepared Wednesday for another night of violence amid concerns that anti-immigration groups, sound familiar, Republicans? Anti-immigration groups plan to target as many as 30 locations around the United Kingdom following a week of rioting and disorder. The head of London's Metropolitan Police Service said officers were focused on protecting immigration lawyers and services. In addition to thousands of officers already deployed, about 1,300 specialist forces were on standby in case of serious trouble in London. Let me see. UK cities and towns have been racked by violence for the past week as angry mobs, egged on by far-right extremists, have clashed with police and counter-demonstrators. The unrest was sparked by the spread of misinformation. And I have seen subsequent reporting, by the way, that misinformation was spread by Russian bots and Russian hackers. Misinformation about the identity of a suspect in a stabbing rampage that killed 3 young girls in the seaside community of Southport. The suspect was falsely identified as an immigrant and Muslim. Sound familiar? There are many, many, many good ways, almost countless good ways, that this country could learn from Europe. This would not be one of them. Well, no, that's true. We actually could learn from Europe here. Watching the violence that's happening in the UK, promulgated by right-wing hate groups, egged on by Russian disinformation. We really could learn, couldn't we? 9 p.m., that's the end of our program for tonight. For everyone at GCPR, for Thomas the Villain, Thomas McCormick, Sergeant Mac, for Gambit, Gilbert, Brett, Ben, Gretchen, Pastor Best, and new hosts are coming. At least 2 new shows are coming. Could be more. I think there might be 3 or more. But at least 2 more are on their way. Please check us out. GCPR.live. It stands for Ghost Claw Productions Radio. Put either one into the search engine of your choice, I would highly suggest DuckDuckGo, because they don't trace your search history. They don't record it, and they don't sell it for marketing information. Just plug that in. Ghost Claw Productions Radio, GCPR.live. You will find us. You will find everywhere that you can listen to us and everywhere that you can watch us. And we invite you to continue to do so. And as you see on the bottom of the screen, we humbly ask you for like, share, subscribe, and follow, depending on the various social media that you might take part in. It's all that. So for everybody at GCPR.live, for everybody that surrounds the Kennedy Effect, for April Riddick, for George and Lynn Dare, for Kristen and Daisy the dog downstairs, I'm Jeff Kennedy. We've done about all the damage we can do for one night. We will see you again tomorrow from 8 p.m. Until then, please have a great rest of your evening and a wonderful day tomorrow. Conversations with T. Nathan from 11 p.m. Eastern. The Sound of Coffee from 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, right here on GCPR Live. Have a great evening. We'll see you tomorrow from 8 p.m.